102.
I know. Okay, welcome to the Capital Planning Committee meeting of April 9th. Excuse me a second here. President, new member Carrie, John Foster, Sam Corbett, Charlie, Sandy, town administrators late as usual, Alan. Well, I'd like to welcome our new member. Has everybody met Carrie before?
Yes, for the third time.
I just want to make sure.
It took a while to get him appointed.
Yeah, that's not my fault. Okay, first off, everybody read the minutes from January 15th. Any issues on the minutes? If no, I need a motion to approve.
Motion to accept.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Next, town administrator, capital requests for department heads. Anything new, deletions, additions?
Yeah, we're gonna go through.
Thank you.
And what I'd say is while we have the schools department here, if you don't mind, we can bring them up and go over what they have for this town meeting.
Okay.
And if you do mind, we'll still do it anyways.
Yes, you may, I'm sorry.
It's all okay. Mr. Sullivan and I have a game back and forth.
We're having a good fight.
You having a good fight right now?
It's all good.
Can't be good because it's both still standing, everybody's still standing.
That's the part of the whole game.
Good afternoon. I just want to introduce, this is Eric, I'm Matt DeAndrea, Superintendent of Schools. This is Eric Trahan, who's our Facilities Director, and our Network Manager is Phil Robinson. They're here.
Okay, go ahead.
We'll start with the fire alarm system at the middle school. So, fire alarm system is the system that was installed back in 2004 when the building was last renovated. All of the equipment is out of date. We can't find replacement parts anymore. The system needs to be replaced. We have a quote for $111,344 to replace the system. We'd like to do that this summer. We do have a letter from the fire department saying that they're allowing for us to finish up, but they want this to be completed as soon as possible. I can share that letter with the committee.
Yeah, it is in your packets under.
Is there one coming down to me?
I don't know about that whole packet, but
I didn't get a packet.
Should have been 5.
Yeah, not back it either.
Sam stole yours.
I stole 2.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
This is proof I can count, Sandy.
Okay.
Yeah, if the system doesn't work, you could end up with
A new
fire
skill,
department
huh?
not
Sorry,
responding.
sorry.
Just learn it.
well, that's the issue. So if we lose a device, we have no replacement for it, so that part of the building's unarmed.
You're all the same problem right now.
I love it.
It's inside there. It's WPC.
That's it?
That's it on the fire department. I mean, the fire alarm system.
All right.
Second is our goal to reopen the McDuffie Annex here on our campus. We have a number of students for various reasons that need a separate school setting. That building is perfect for that purpose. We'd like to start by putting our night school over there for next school year, and then slowly transition some of our programs from our day school over time as funding and student needs become available and needed. Right now, the building needs upgrades, both the physical building and technology wise. I do have a breakdown, and I don't know how much you guys have about what needs to be done. I can share this.
I'll do paper copies next time.
It's okay. No, I got it already. This handout I just shared, the front page are the upgrades to the physical building. Replacing the roof. The roof has some leaks. The exterior egresses, the door frames on the outside, they're all rusted. There's work in the inside that needs to be done. In the basement, the flooring needs to be repaired. So we estimated that would be about $82,187 to do that work. And on page 2 of the packet is all the technological upgrades that need to be done to the building. And you can see it's pretty extensive, but it's really centers around security for the building, and also accessing Wi-Fi for our students, and phones and things of that nature, that they'll need to use in order for their education. One of the challenges around, especially around the IT portion of this, is the tariffs that are now being bounced around at the federal level, and how much it will impact these purchases. I know that in the New York Times today, it said it's 104% tariff on China. Many of these parts will come out of China, so I'm not really sure what the impact is. You can see that without the tariffs, it's about $83,750. If we add 104%, essentially double it to $170,850. I don't know where to put that at this point. It's just, there are unanswered questions at this
So
point.
none of this stuff is in stock now, we ought to get it only from China with the increased tariff, so none of this stuff is available anyplace. Cause do we pay the increased tariff if this inventory exists now?
I would say, I hope not, if the inventory exists now, so potentially, yeah, there could be savings there.
Well, not savings, but I just did,
Would,
because
there
if
would
we
be
wait
untariffed.
for this to be shipped from China, it'll take a lot longer than if it's already in somebody's inventory.
Sure.
I was at a meeting earlier today, and someone has a $2.4 million order. And they basically told them, if we don't get it like in 2 days, we have to cancel the order. So they got it done and shipped it. My concern is that a lot of the stuff may not be easily available. 'Cause that's the biggest problem, is parts of things today, you think you want something, but it could be a year or 2 years sometimes. That's my real concern, is can actually get this stuff for you. It's not the money so much as the availability.
Are you locked into those particular brands of items? I mean, is there any stuff that's made in America that can, for some of this?
The reason we selected these particular items is because they mesh and are compatible with the systems that are already in place in our other schools. It simplifies management on the administration side if we don't have like lots and lots of different vendors doing the same related task. So if we want a camera system that integrates with what we've already got, because all of our other schools use a Vigilon, then we'd like to buy a Vigilon because it's what we know. Same with our switches. Aruba's been a great brand for us. I wouldn't trust anything else. Same with wireless. These are all systems that we have and are familiar with, and they mesh nicely with all of our models that we have. So that's why they were picked the first.
Is it possible for you to go ahead and pre-order with the order saying dependent on town meeting vote?
We'd have to talk to a company and see what they say, because some of these you can go and get the MSRP, Other systems will actually have to talk to a company to get all the parts for it,
Just trying
because
to
some of these systems have smaller components that have prices, but I'm not personally familiar with.
I'm just trying to find a way to make it so it's viable.
So right now, this, on the second, on the second page is just all the IT stuff.
Gary, you have any questions? Sam? No. John? Derek?
Matt, just to verify, that was the ingress, was that the ADA ramp we're talking about? 'Cause I think-
No, it's actually the side porch, one of the emergency exits out of the south facing wall.
Yeah.
Has a porch that's on the first floor, but the drop is to the bottom level. It should be torn down and reconstructed, it's just kinda unsafe, so.
Cause I'm just worried about that ramp. It's a
That
little
ramp has been
spongy.
reinforced, it just needs new handrails, if
Okay.
you will, so not a big chunk of.
Might have just been my weight walking on it.
No, it might have been what time of the year you walked on it, it's good now, Turning
It was
Point
last
actually.
year, so.
Oh, Turning Point actually hired someone or volunteered to reinforce all the joists underneath, so,
Volunteer.
yeah.
Charlie, any questions?
Well, again, I go back to the list. Every one of these products, everything on this list comes from China. 'Cause we're doubling the price.
We don't know. We don't
Consider,
know.
we're adding more than double the price. If half of these items are available locally, then we really don't need to double the price.
And during the procurement process, we're gonna have to do, if it's over a certain threshold, we're gonna have to go out to bid anyway, so it might not be that specific item, so, yes.
Yeah, again, it
Wait.
could be less than this.
Right, right,
Could be.
so
This is the
that's
worst
that's,
case
this is
scenario.
worst case
We hope it's less,
scenario,
yeah.
well, you know, that's the challenge, is where do we put it, you
Yeah,
know?
I understand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's just, it's a tough nut when
right.
price is double.
Go ahead, Mrs. Slavin.
So everything on the second page has to go out for procurement? Or,
Not,
no,
not necessarily, no.
I don't see anything here that would, yeah, to me, stuff on the.
The front
Stuff
will
on the
be.
first page, some of it,
Mhm.
but I'm saying the second page, I'm not gonna go out for procurement for IP speaker for paging.
Well, if it's from the same vendor, then yes.
So some of
One
these
of
will
them
be
will come-
consolidated together for each vendor as opposed to,
Might be.
so,
Likely contact a company.
so
with additional
Mr. Sullivan, do I record this as two separate projects for the McDuffie Annex?
No, you do it as one thing for the McDuffie Annex.
Do you want me to put down $282,000?
No, you're gonna do, it was a total of, well, you were at 170 with the double cost and then the 82. I think we've talked about having 200K
Right.
available for it. I think that's really
Does
what
that
we're
include the
looking-
front page,
Yeah, I think it would include everything on it, you know, it's,
correct?
and I get what they're saying, because I would say, if you remember with COVID, we had the COVID cost escalators, even though many of the companies did not have a cost escalation, they automatically sent something on to the consumers and they had their highest, you know, their best incomes thereafter. So, and I think that's what we're going to see right off the bat, we're going to see tariff surcharges that maybe when they're on current stock as well.
So I'll record it 200,000 for a McDuffie upgrade.
Yeah, that's what I've
Is that good
proposed
enough?
was
Yeah.
200. I don't know if it's good enough, I
No,
know
but
in the,
for the
right,
town meeting.
right, but I
on
think
the-
200 and I have to say, I really hope that we don't have to worry about the tariffs on it.
Yeah, we all do.
And for the middle school fire system, it's 135,000 in FY '27. You want that moved over to FY '24?
Yes, have that, well,
25?
FY 25, I wanna get, we have to get that in, and hopefully it gets approved and we can get it done by before the fall
And I'll record
starts.
100, that 111,344.
343.
Correct.
I put 125,000
Okay,
even on there for it, just in case with the slate. I know this is the bid that you have on there, I'm just, when something gets opened up, I'm gonna assume. And as you know, when we're done with these, if there's any monies left over, we just we clear them out and it goes back to free cash. So they couldn't spend that then on
So the
a-
school can't have this money to use it for anything other than what
Right.
we're gonna
Correct.
approve for. Okay.
We
Now,
couldn't buy Matt
that-
diamond earrings or anything.
that McDuffie- that
As much as I wanted
Yeah,
to.
that's,
I thought that McDuffie building was passed over to the town at a prior town meeting.
No, the McDuffie Annex is an interesting one. We actually own the old Boys and Girls Club, which is the old bus garage, which is
The weight
the
room.
new weight room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The McDuffie Annex is still a school building.
Oh, it is, I thought it had been passed to the town.
No, that one
So,
had not been turned over.
No maintenance has been done on it.
Except whatever Turning Point and being a nonprofit, they don't have much in the way of
Okay,
funds.
so it's been ignored, honestly, it's been ignored as a
Yeah.
building.
Yeah, I
We
would,
still do the fire inspection every year, their fire extinguishers every year. It's still armed with the security system that the schools pay for
And
as well.
25,000 is enough to do a replace the roof?
That's just like an estimate, yes.
Are you going to put another layer on it or remove it and put a new
I
layer
would
on
want to
it?
remove and not double layer roof ever. But we will see.
Repair sheetrock, what do they do, put their fist through it?
There's just holes in it throughout, but we can have custodians do that as well, so we
So
we
there
can
can't be
figure
some
that out.
in-kind? Lighting fixture covers.
I don't think there's a price with that. That's just
No.
all the list of things that need to be done over there. Holes in- Like you said, it's kind of an abandoned building, so.
Okay, so
It's
125,000 will be in special spring. Correct, FY 25, FY 25?
I put 125 for the alarms for the middle
Alarm,
school.
And, uh-huh,
And 200 for the McDuffie Annex.
and you want the McDuffie Act to be in special spring, so it's in FY 25?
Correct. Both of them will be in the spring special town meeting.
My question would be then, if it turns out that it's more money, how are they gonna pay to get ready for the fall?
I would imagine that they would have to use their own budget to cover it and then potentially seek a transfer from the finance committee or an October town meeting. So,
Are we better off to put the larger amount in and just the money comes back, if you have the money available?
well, I could have the money available in October. I'm trying to hold off, the strategy that we have is we're going to try and roll over as much free cash as possible with putting $1 million towards the Fearing Hill Bridge. Because we're looking for some earmarks and some other grants to cover that, but if we don't have that in October, after the 1 million, and if tariffs come in, we will have a $3 to $4 million bill coming due. So that's the one, and that is a priority.
Understand, I'm just concerned that if they wanna get this open and they run short money wise and they can't open.
Has the-
Well, I'm hopeful, to Derek's point, I'm hopeful, I mean, that 100% tariff is hopefully, like we all said, we hope that doesn't happen. I'm confident that with 200,000, we can get that up enough to, we can have students in there and,
No concerns.
you know, but I appreciate that, absolutely.
Yeah, it's, right now, it's a game of chicken between the United States and the rest of the world,
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
Okay,
The annex building, have you consulted with the fire department to make sure that they're not gonna at the 11th hour come in and say, oh no,
Yeah.
you need a sprinkler system, you need,
We actually just
We
met with
have-
you need this,
yeah.
that, and the other thing. And after we put this money, we're kind of committed to spend more money. So, I mean, are they on board?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
We
That's-
just had that exact
don't want
conversation
Don't want a
yesterday.
surprise, yeah,
Yeah, we
like
like,
the 11th hour.
we talked about that yesterday. They came out and met with us,
Good.
made sure everything was good, so emailed me too, as far as.
Keep the
letting me know.
email.
Oh, don't worry, I will.
Document.
The good news is technically it's not been an abandoned or vacant building since they've had occupancy within there, which hasn't triggered some of the other offsets that it
yeah.
could.
The big bucks items.
Right.
Okay, I'm on board with it.
so what we're gonna do is, we're gonna add this to the updated capital plan, but item number 7, we'll actually vote on the new version, which will go to town meeting, which
Yes, I will have to create a column for FY '25.
Yeah.
Yes,
You wanna have an open meeting law violation from our chair of the select board. Sorry, okay,
Mr. Chair, may I ask some questions?
no. I have no idea.
We have over the year funded some of these projects, and I'd just like to have an update on where they stand
This is for the school.
Hmm?
For the school.
for the school. We had 48,000 for a food steamer. Has that been done?
Yes, I don't, was that funded through capital? Or
I
we just
we
had to put
needed,
it
we
on there?
needed it on the plan.
Oh, okay,
Okay,
alright,
so I can
yes.
remove it because it's been done.
You funded it through the food services grant or from the revolving fund.
That's
that you
correct.
had.
Yes.
Correct.
So, okay, so I can say goodbye to that one.
Yes.
Now, we had in spring '23, we did replaced the middle school roof for $3,257,000. Was that completed?
That's completed.
Okay, done. In special spring '24, we have 350,000 for 3 buses.
I would defer to the superintendent.
Yes.
I don't know where we're at.
Done?
Yep.
In special spring '24, no, that's never mind. Special spring '24, 2 transit vans for 150,000.
She's going through the 5-year
Those have
capital
not
plan.
been purchased yet.
Okay, that's all right. In fall '24, we purchased 3 more buses for 425,000.
That's spring of '24.
Fall of '24.
Fall of '24, right. We haven't received those buses,
Okay,
but
so it's still
we're
open.
still working on those.
In fall of '24, we had 133,000 for an F-55 pickup with plow.
Still waiting on that.
Okay, that's fine. I
Should be
just
this month.
know I have some things I can now remove.
Yes.
Thank you very much for the update.
All set?
I'm all set.
I just have one, I don't know if there needs to be any action on this, but I'm looking at, the high school was built in 1991. That was before, they were building school buildings with certain, level of security that they have now. If you've been to the new elementary school, when somebody comes to the door, they ring the buzzer, they come in and they're in what essentially is called a man trap, is that they can't get into the school, they're just in that area, and they can talk with the individual who's manning the front desk. Our high school doesn't have that, it was built in 1991. We've been exploring options to renovate the front of the high school. The front, I mean this side where everybody goes in, to install a man trap. We've received, back in January, we received a couple of proposals and quotes. It was between 1.3 million which was way more than I expected, to 2.1 million. We asked them to scale it back. They came back in March and said between 1 million and 1.2 million. I just wanted to put this on your radar. This is something that I'm hoping that we can work with this committee and work with the town to have completed. I know that's a big number and a big ask, and we're always looking how we can do it less expensive, but still have that level of security that we need there. So I just wanted to put that out there. I do believe that it is on the capital plan.
I have nothing. I have Chromebooks, driver's ed card, replacement of 5 steel doors at the high school, 25,000 per year. Technology, the high school and middle school for 100,000. Rooftop HVAC units, building management system HVAC, high school and middle, boilers for middle school. That's all I have on capital plan for the school. Did I miss something?
Can you send us a formal request?
Sure.
Yes.
Mr. Sullivan,
You fill out one of those
I would
sheets.
use the word, assume bad word, that there would be no way to do it for the fall town meeting. Capital item at this point.
I think
I don't know if
falls
something-
would be our next look at it, nothing for the spring or
I'm
spring
not with the
special.
spring, it's too soon.
Yeah.
Okay.
So going forward, what what would be the best way, so we'll put a formal request in, and,
We'll put it on the capital plan.
okay,
And as you know, the way things work for a capital plan is that we have an article at town meeting which changes the dollar amount substantially, what's capital, what's not. What's not basically goes on each department's actual budget. If it's over that, then town meeting has to vote individually. So again, as of today, the capital planning committee lists stuff out 5 years. We make recommendations, we do not pick anything. It's up to the town administrator to pick what he wants to bring forward, what he doesn't. And then between Derek and John Foster, they figure out how they're gonna pay for it. The article, if you read it, basically, we go back to Mass General Law, which I spent some time with, and what it says is the capital planning committee with the town administrator and the treasurer, come up with an idea of how to pay for things. We still don't make the choice, it's still,
so, okay.
so everybody thinks that we make the choice of what goes forward, we really don't.
All right, so I'll work with Derek to,
Yeah, but
That sounds outrageous,
it does,
for like a vestibule.
yeah.
Yeah, it does seem,
but they can do
Yeah.
that.
Maybe if you
but
bring
it's
it out,
cameras and door
Yeah, but
systems.
they
Well, it's reconfiguring inside, so to bring it out, that was the higher price. It was to bring out that slab, concrete slab with an awning, and then actually building out from there. That was the first options that we go between 1.3 to 2.1 million. So we asked to scale back and kind of utilize what we have on the inside, just reconfigure, and that brought the price lower. So now we have to go back to the drawing board, see what we can scale down to even bring that price even lower, to figure this all out.
When you come in those doors, the office is right there on your right.
Correct, so there's
You're talking about the vestibule after that office, so that they
So
can
that-
go into, have
Yeah,
interact with that.
the problem is when you go in, you have those stairs that go up,
Yeah,
and
oh, yeah.
that creates an issue. So
Yeah.
we've been trying to figure out how to work around that.
So the idea is actually with the
Oh, you
office
have to,
that,
yeah.
the office that you're looking at behind the other office,
Mhm.
utilize the classroom that's behind that and open up from that area over.
Yeah, redesign the whole,
Yeah,
it's more than just a vestibule.
correct.
Yeah, were those the modular ones, or was that the like on-site, built on-site?
What was it? I'm sorry.
With the man traps, were they modular, or was it the idea was to build it all out?
Build it all out. Yep.
They have
think
to
we have the
reconfigure.
Same issue, we were looking at the police station, that we had that 3-year study. And the same thing, I believe what's happened is this particular item, because it's a necessity and you have to follow certain rules, like anything else, once it's a necessity, the price doubles.
Yeah.
Of
As
course.
soon as you say school too, it's like,
Yeah.
okay, shoot that number right through the roof.
Yep.
It's not like Star Wars, you're hitting the button and the guy's
Yeah.
falling
There's
down.
no reason, period.
But Derek,
Okay.
I did send those, the updated, the spreadsheets, the capital planning spreadsheets for the due items to you in January, but I can resend them to whoever. I just need to know who they need to go to.
Always copy Sandy Slavin on it.
Okay, good to know.
It's like always copy Patty on something.
I think she's on here too, yeah. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, and I wanna say thank you for your support over the last several years. I mean,
Kids come first.
yeah,
period.
the projects that we've done have been sorely needed and well supported by the town, and it's greatly appreciated.
Yeah, thank you.
You guys, well, you
Just send me a check.
it's on tape, by the way.
It's on tape.
Thank you.
Did you get the thing about the bribe?
Yep.
Good.
All of it.
Good.
Light that up really in bright letters.
Have a good afternoon.
Yeah.
Okay, what you got next, Derek?
So what we can do is go through the packet that was handed out. This, the first one's something that's still basically under our capital line, will change in the future, but if you look at this, believe it or not, this is copiers, to purchase copiers and not go through the continuous lease. And it'd be the mailroom, clerk's office, administration, health and inspections, the assessor, DNR, and then the treasurer collector's office. We've been going out for trying to figure out what the needs are, and believe it or not, And we're looking at about $47,000. And this is through Xerox. It's off of the state bid list.
This is a purchase?
Yeah, I'm looking at it. The copier sales are worse than used car sales, if you know, it is brutal. So I'm trying to get out of that leasing, and you know, I think the lease for two years when I was looking at was about 36,000 or something, and then every time we go through it, it takes forever, and frankly, you know, you still have to purchase on top of them, the maintenance contracts, everything, and there's no value to the lease. It used to be a better option. It is now buying them outright. Let's have them with the maintenance agreement that we would have had to pay as we're leasing them, and let's have them. And over the 5 years, we're probably getting about a $20,000 return on it, so.
So this is to purchase 8 copiers?
Yeah. So no, it's a little bit more if I remember, cause it's a,
5, 6, 7, 8. but it
Eight.
says-
yeah.
Now, does that include maintenance contracts?
Maintenance is separate and we have them in the budget, so.
Oh, it's in the budget, okay.
Yeah, so, but.
I'll record 50,000
Yes, please.
in FY 25, 26.
20, yeah, it would be, we'd have to start it for 26,
Okay.
but it'll be in the spring special town meeting. I have to do it within the spring special, so.
So
you
it's
got-
FY 25.
Yeah, you
It's
consider it FY
25.
25.
Now, I have a question for you. Do I put it, what category? Do I put it under municipal maintenance or do I put it under?
I had it under.
I don't know where to put it on the line.
I put it under administration. We
I know,
don't
but you
really
don't
have
have-
one, and I don't wanna create another.
Should I put it under town buildings? I don't know where else.
My
How
own,
about
the only reason,
IT?
honestly, when I put it together, when it's going to be in the grid at town meeting, I'm going to have it under administration. The reason being is we're gonna be executing the contract and making the payment on it. It's gonna be coming from my department, so I apologize, you have to create another line, Sandy,
I need another category. Yes,
so.
create.
So, there's, through the state bid list, there's a couple different options. There is a company that's a little bit cheaper, we're using them right now, and the responsiveness has been awful. And I don't wanna use them again. So.
Good reason.
Yeah. So sometimes it's penny wise, pound foolish, is it? So.
The only question is as we have, I think it's Division 1, Article 6, you know, financial organizational matters. Don't we have that as $50,000 for the actual capital for us still? So the 47 is below that.
That's why we're saying it, putting in for 50.
Yeah,
That's what I'm asking.
put it in.
Because if not, it'll be in you put in your own budget, you know, for each department. Okay, and I assume that word again, that if our articles are passed, that won't be a problem at all, because it goes to 200,000.
Timing's everything.
I mean, it's everything. Okay, next.
The next ones are just IT's updates for what they have. We don't have anything for the spring special town meeting for IT, but this is for updating the.
So you want me to, the whole section for IT gets updated?
Yeah,
with
just take a
something?
look at Matt was kind enough to go through it, provide.
Question for you, number 2, the video surveillance for the library. Is that something we should be pushing forward, because the kids hang out the library all the time now, they don't wanna go home.
You know, actually, the library, we have the funds for a little bit of the external, the 300,000, and then the 2.3 million for the HVAC. We need several million more for that building.
I know. I'm just concerned that, you know, because it's, the line sight vision on that library, unfortunately, was, someone designed it to win an architectural award, not for function, because you can't go like this, like that, and like that, because you can't see anything, there's no sight lines. It requires like an extra 5 or 6 people just to run the place. Okay, this was one that he was a concern about.
So, but these are some of the updates from Matt on it.
I will update placed on this document, knowing that if the new articles pass in town meeting, this gets changed.
So yeah,
I will update based on this document that I have here.
yep.
Okay. Now, in IT, in fall 19, we did 2 virtual servers for 380,000. Did that ever get done?
I don't have the update from Matt on those.
Okay. Or a 3-year contract for cyber monitoring,
No, that's the Arctic Wolf. We did that.
so that's done.
That one I know for sure.
There's one more, desktops, dual factor authorizations.
We have that now. We have to, before I can log in, I have to either plug in through my keys.
Okay.
I have a plug.
So
or-
it's done, so I can remove
Yeah,
it
no,
from,
but,
okay,
Sandy, you gotta let me tell my tale. Come on, it's cool.
all right.
Yeah, or you can receive a notification to your mobile device from Duo and sends a push to it and you have to accept. So it's we were required to do that by Maya as well, so.
I think I will remove those 2 projects as being completed.
And I think the first one, the 380 is Sandy, I just don't want to speak out of turn.
Okay,
So if you keep on going till you get to the, if you can read my writing, inspections 1, INSP 1 at the bottom. We do, we're too large of a community to participate in the Commonwealth's weights and measures. We have to have our own weights and measures person. We've had them for years. It changed over, the person we'd had for a long time, Jack, retired. We were able to get somebody trained up and do it. It is a necessary but almost archaic skill. We could not find anybody to do it. We had to actually work with somebody to get trained. The original weights and measures vehicle was a pickup that was outfitted with a lot of specialized gear on it. That failed on us and we moved into start using the old ACO vehicle. That's that small Sprinter van, the black one. Part of what they do with the weights and measures, besides having all sorts of weights and such, is they do the fuel testing for the gas stations. Guess what you have inside a closed vehicle with all the fuel from the cans, everything. I've got somebody inhaling that in there nonstop. It's not safe, it's not a vehicle set up for it, and we've been utilizing this as a Band-Aid for a few years, and you know, it's not something we should be doing anymore. So if you look at it, it's a heavy-duty vehicle, it's a 3500 style pickup truck, which in and of itself is, you know, just under $50,000. So not unsubstantial, but you know, in the scheme of the way things are costing, not crazy. It is the outfitting the rest of it for the specialized equipment, including all that sort of testing for the external for the fuel and such, that brings it up to a total of about $120,000. This is a quote dating back from the beginning of January, so I do recommend we do this. It's, you know, it's a vehicle that should last us 20 years given the mileage. You know, it's not an everyday vehicle, but it's a specialized piece of municipal equipment.
so it's 3,500 plus equipment for 250K,
Right.
in what time frame?
I would do I wouldn't do, this is for the spring special town meeting.
Okay,
I
that's what-
wouldn't say 3,500. I hate saying that, you know, that's specialized to Chevy or something.
okay, pick up
Right,
vehicle and equipment,
correct.
FY25 special spring.
I don't anticipate a trade-in of the old ACO vehicle. I wanna have that go over to the custodians who use that for some of the building supplies and such, working back and forth. It's a good vehicle for that. And if you look, this one had the estimated FY26 model year increased cost in it, and some of the materials costs, it already had a $9,000 escalator in it. So I think if we keep it at the 120, we should be fine.
We're not forced to get a vehicle, in that lightweight vehicle?
Not right now, that's
Okay.
you know, we really have not been that active as a green community either. They were asking us whether, cause if you remember, there was talk about leaving the green communities for what it's been doing.
It's a
You
good,
know,
it's a good idea initially, it's not working out well.
no, the return on investment's not been the best, so. Are there any questions on that?
You know,
So special spring 25, special spring FY 25, 120,000 for vehicle and equipment under in special services.
125.
125, yeah, sorry. 120.
So we moved to municipal maintenance one, that page. This is the building section. We just updated that.
Now, it says FY 25, are all this stuff going to special spring, or is this?
No, that's what they're saying, this is the year where the need starts. But if you remember, this doesn't mean we're funding things,
No,
it's just.
but- Should I start in FY
Yeah, if you wanna start moving it to FY 26,
26.
you know, but it's, cause I think Fearing Hill Bridge replacement, if you look, I'm going to ask for the $1 million for that, in the spring special.
Okay, so it's possible that some of this will be in FY 25,
Correct.
but if I move this out to 26, 27, that type of stuff,
Hammond, for the building evaluation, we have $60,000, and we talked to Dave, we have that with, community
wait.
preservation.
you went too fast for me.
So you have Fearing Hill, Sandy. And the next one's Hammond Building Evaluation.
Don't we already have it in here?
You do, these are these are just the sheets that Dave went through and
Okay.
updated all this.
Wait a minute,
Yeah.
building. Okay,
So 100,000, but we're bringing forward from community preservation, I think it's 60,000, Sam, right?
it's,
I think we requested 60,000 for the Hammond Building Evaluation.
do I change that from 100 to,
Please, I just think it should, I think it should match up to what we're bringing to town meeting.
and it will be done in special spring. Okay,
And these are just sort of the,
and so the Faring Hill Bridge replacement, I'm to put 1 million in special spring?
right, we're going to do 1 million of the special spring town meeting. For lack of a better term, the seed funding, where we're trying to get some other sources to pay
And
for.
therefore I put 3 million in, going on.
26,
Then-
that bridge is, doesn't fall into small bridge, it's just a little bit longer, right?
correct, it's several feet.
Yeah, 4 feet, I think it is.
They're including the whole embankment on it. We were trying to just include the span, but span and embankment puts it beyond the reach by at least 8 feet, I
Yeah.
think.
You've already applied asking for an exception, though, look.
We've gone through and asked for, it, so.
Okay.
You know, I've asked for earmarks on that. We expect to have 100% design done by October. We were held up terribly by the Division of Marine Fisheries. It was submitted to them, the plan at this point 16 months ago. They did not act upon it till we started hitting the 100% design. And then they wanted smelts, a smelt zone, even though that section of the river has not seen smelt in, you know, so. Since probably when the British shelled us, so,
They drove them out.
1814.
And conservation approved the bridge, not the fishing component of the project.
correct.
Yeah, so we broke it apart so we could go forward with the construction.
So, and there was something I think we received from Dave, we received from the DMF or something that they want it as one project. So.
Could that
it's-
be recreation?
For what?
The fish part of it.
Under what component?
That's official.
Are you looking for CPA funding for it? I would be hard pressed.
Yeah, it's recreation.
I would be, what,
It's
fishing
not-
for smelts? I don't think so.
And non-existent smelts.
Why not?
I think that's a discussion for CPC. With grant request comes in, I don't want it.
Yeah, it's not a dedicated fishing area, it's creating a zone for the smelt to come in
Yeah.
and do.
It would be hard
But
to classify it as a recreation component under CPA. I really would,
We should talk about it.
if we ever get a grant request.
Okay,
So, but I'm going,
that
so
used to be
the ferry-
hugely popular in town.
the fairing, I'm going to break it down between 1 million and 3 million in 2 different timeframes.
please, yeah.
And then now the Hammond, this 100,000 we have here is for the Hammond building evaluation. I'm changing it to 60,000.
This
In
would
the
be-
current line, we had library in Hammond for 100,000. Do I just call it Hammond building evaluation?
Yeah, I didn't have it as one
Well,
line.
that was that was what we had in our capital plan.
Okay,
So I'm just gonna remove the word library and
Yeah.
focus on Hammond for 60K in FY '25. Okay,
and then the rest of it, I would just say this is what municipal maintenance has sort of requested or given us as their future plan,
okay,
so
so
it just
I will
has-
take whatever I have here and update
Yeah, I think as submitted makes sense.
and update. The full report. Okay. Now,
If you go to page 2.
wait, can we talk, is there any of this stuff that has been completed in building? Probably not, because everything was done in FY fall '24, so it's probably still work in progress.
If you're pulling off of the
No, it's just
town buildings, you've got Bayview Park, that's in
Yep.
progress, Lopes Playground's in
in progress,
progress.
yep.
Upgrade for the multi-service center generators, that's still in progress. And as is the town hall building
Yep.
evaluation, we hired the company and they're, we're going through with
Yep,
that. And
we're
they-
paying the bills.
Right, and the town hall auditorium interior rehab, they've been working on the electrical portion and picking up some. of
Okay,
the-
so that's all work in
Yeah.
progress. Just, if you're on that page, do we have to keep town cemeteries on our capital plan? We never do anything with it.
Well, it depends when, Sandy, cause remember, we bought the land. We did something with at least one of the buildings, I thought,
I
before.
thought we took a building down.
Yeah, so that's doing something with it.
Okay,
It's an
so,
action.
One less thing to maintain.
so just leave it there?
Yeah,
Because I have seen people at Cemetery clearing a whole lot and working on it.
yeah,
You're doing that now.
Yeah, they're doing it now.
so,
So I'll just keep the whole thing there because we never talk about the capital plan for town cemeteries.
do like people, residents understanding that town cemeteries are something that we have,
Okay, cause,
it's a
we'll be taking
liability
s-
that we have.
yeah, we'll be taking some of these off because they won't meet the dollar criteria after that bylaw changes.
We'll just upgrade them all to 200,000.
All right, so municipal maintenance one will be updated as such. Next, I'm good with that one.
Alright, so Sandy, if we go to the next page, you'll see this is coming from the things that have been purchased, from the core cut saw that was purchased, the surf rake was purchased, the whacker sidewalk machine was purchased, and then the 3,500 utility truck with plow was purchased, but they did not purchase the plow portion on that. There was some reason Dave didn't want that for it. Going forward, we have, you'll go to the next page, you'll see this is the chipper box. Madigan has one in stock for just under 133,000. We'd estimated 180,000. I wanna grab this. We have the boom truck, which does have a box on the back of it, but you cannot operate the chipper into the box on the boom truck legally anymore. If that boom's in operation, you can't utilize the rest of it, so you need to have a separate one. It's completely inefficient to to bring everything down. Yeah, so this is just a
Okay,
better
so you would
operation.
like to change this to 135,000?
And I'm bringing
in
that to the spring
special
special.
spring?
Yep. And then Dave is, I don't have the quote for it, Dave has requested the 8,500, for 85,000 for the truck with the plow. That's a supervisor vehicle for one of the four persons. And as it works is we take the old truck and that goes into the general fleet. It's still in decent enough shape. I would like to pick up the hot box for $50,000. We have all our
What's the
bids
hot box?
for keeping hot mix for
The asphalt box.
Asphalt, okay, yep.
Yeah.
So we have the asphalt box for 60,000, so I'm changing it to 40,000 and putting it in special spring,
Just keep at 50 if you can, please, Sandy.
right, 50,
Yeah,
as
and I'm,
opposed to, it's down there as 60.
right.
Change it to 50 and
Yeah.
put it in special spring.
And I'm probably, when I do the article, I'm probably going to lump them all together. That way, if something comes in lower, something comes in higher, it's not going to impact us. Yeah, that's how we usually do it. So I think that's some items for municipal maintenance. That's what Dave's requesting, which I think makes sense for the town.
The the truck and plow for 85, had we put it on here?
It is on the original list here.
On FY 27 for
Yeah.
95,000?
I think Dave's got it in his new list that he updated now, so I'm just trying to double check when he had. Yeah, he probably
No, it's,
probably increased it from, I know they had the 2,500 van and equipment, but I think this is the 2,500 truck with plow he'd
we had a
prefer.
250 van and equipment, which is not this.
Right, correct,
Should I just add a new one?
sure.
I'll insert. In FY 26 or special spring?
Spring special, please.
Yeah, 26 or $2,500 truck with plow.
That's coming up.
Yeah.
It's on his list, so it's another
Additional one.
addition. I'm calling this an insert as an additional one.
I'm asking.
The
I'm sorry, I got rid of my FY 25 column.
there were some non-capital things that we were able to pick up. There were some of the smaller sidewalk vehicles that actually have sprayers on the back that really worked well this winter, which allowed our guys to cover a lot more ground than just so they actually would be spraying the solution or the salt behind as well when I was doing the sidewalks, which was great. You know, that was really helpful. It was, one negative we hit was some were too big to go where the Eversource, the screw doesn't put the telephone poles in the middle of the sidewalks, you know.
Down onto the avenue.
Yeah, and you can't get in some of them when there's a wall on one side, so
Mailboxes.
yeah, so you would actually see, and the guys would have to back up because this one really couldn't go over the curbs and come back in from the other side, which is kind of it's a pain in the butt, but that's Eversource.
There's a possibility of a law being passed. Where we have an issue like that, the town can go ahead and move the poles and then build Eversource.
Yeah. We're still waiting for the double poles with the fines to be.
On year two, just very quickly before we get into it, I think item 4 and item 5, the dollar amount should be reversed. You get a 2,500 plow and truck, then you get a 3,500, which is a more expensive truck and plow for less money.
That works.
I just reversed the dollar amounts.
Okay.
You got that, Mrs. Lane?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
And Alan, if it's wrong, we'll just blame Sandy.
always.
On Sandy's fault anyway.
We'll see how much I can remember by the time I get home.
You won't remember anything.
I will tell you something interesting, it's, we've had some people come from other communities, start working for us for maintenance, this is one of the first times we've filled all the slots in the department. And, one of the things we heard from the other communities was the gear and the safety aspect of the way Mr. Menard runs his shop. You know,
Makes a big difference.
for example, utilizing the machines to pick up the heavy things rather than the backs where guys getting injured and things such as that. It makes a difference. And the shape that we keep our equipment, they were pretty shocked about it. So I never thought of that as a sort of a sales pitch, but it was. They enjoyed coming over, using good equipment that's well
I'm
maintained.
certainly impressed with what the sewer department has done with their safety equipment and stuff like that, gear to be seen and whatever, but on a side note, thank you very much for that flashing speed limit sign coming down Narrows.
Before the school.
No, by the Narrows, before Cape Cod, before the boatyard.
Yeah.
How
So
many of
it's-
those
It
went
goes all
in?
over town.
We've been putting more and more. We'd originally, I think we ordered last year, was it 20 of them? So we've got them all in, we've been placing them around.
This is the first I've seen one.
Yeah, so we've done a Lopes, we did them on High Street, by the hospital,
Onset Ave.
Onset
by-
Ave in front of
By
Lopes.
the
and then
village,
back.
down by the golf course.
Yeah, and which is actually, and I'll tell you, I've come around that corner going into the village and it makes you stop. You
Oh,
know,
yeah,
it's
it's right by that playground.
right, so it's really been, those are good. I'm glad, I appreciate the support of getting those, cause I know some people were, not this group, were wishy-washy about them, but I think they make a difference, and people say, those that don't care, but a lot of us are busy, you're thinking about other things, and that's a good reminder to slow down, and it helps you do that.
Do you have any left?
Yeah, I think we do have a couple left, so we're taking, cause somebody asked about why the heck was it White Island Shores, or we get complaints about these little neighborhoods, about, it's like neighbor on neighbor crime,
Yeah.
about the speeding, and they want speed bumps, they want police, this is a much better solution to those.
I think when you see the sign with the speed there, it flashes at you, automatically you take your foot off the throttle for a minute,
Yeah.
if nothing else.
Reminds you, you look down, you spin on the road.
You look down.
Yeah.
Did we put that in capital?
It was,
I'm trying to
I
think, where
can't
did I
remember
put
if we
it?
did it in the fall, or I thought it was the fall, and
I remember
spring
there was
last year.
discussion of
remember
whether or not it would go on someone's personal property would be an issue in some of those smaller
We
communities.
do own,
I know
most
we
of,
did.
I mean, even usually we have a 40-foot right of way. And a lot of folks have technically encroached on the town property.
Mhm.
but-
Okay.
So if there's, but Sam, yeah, if there's an area you think that could utilize it,
Okay.
shoot me an email.
Where did it go? It disappeared.
Miscellaneous.
You know, the goal's not to have them every 100 feet, obviously, or anything, but in areas that need it. And sometimes they might be moved around depending on.
Well, you
what's
can
going
move.
on. Yeah, I mean, you put them in on a semi-permanent basis, but it's just like any other street sign embedded in. You can pull them out and they're operated through solar.
There's a place on Shodge Pond Road called.
It's the only good
Quarter
solar, Sam.
Hmm?
It's the only good solar, Sam.
Mile. Maybe you're right.
So the on Charge Pond Road, which,
There's a place used to call the Quarter Mile.
okay,
People still use it as a racetrack. I've been past there a number of times. Where the road doubles,
yep,
that road on the right, if going up Charge Pond, used to be called the Quarter Mile.
okay,
That's where you raced your cars.
yeah.
Many times.
Yeah,
I raced my GTO up there many times.
yeah, that's right. I call
They
that-
still use it as a
I
racetrack.
call that one the road to nowhere, sort of, the old one where they, spread some things out. So that area, well, it's not a far commute for them to install them, so. If that's the area, I'll make sure Dave knows. Although some people, if they're still using that, you might be using those to see if you can get it to the triple digits.
Before 495 was completed, that was a big racetrack.
Yeah.
It was a highway that went to nowhere. It was, I mean, I've seen policemen up there. It's been a long time ago, but.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next. So the next one is the water pollution control facility. They're asking for a truck with the camera system in there. The old Ghostbusters mobile, I think, has failed. That's the ambulance that they took from us, and it just honestly reminded of like Ghostbusters. What is it, John? They set it up with yellow and black, and it's so this is not it's not insubstantial in cost. So just under just over 245,000. We would utilize retained earnings from the water pollution control facility, which is their version of free cash. Scott would like to get this going, so it'd be the spring special town
Okay.
meeting.
So I see 95,000, or is there, I'm missing something? Is that the 95,000?
Yeah, go to page, go to the next page, Sandy.
Yep, options, camera,
Yeah, go through and all the way down, total. Cause the 95,000 is the vehicle itself, and then the rest of it's
so
the
that's
outfit.
245,000?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, 214, 218, 245, 218.
It escalated a bunch, huh?
Special spring?
Yep.
I don't need to know retained earnings. And so I'm gonna call it what am I calling it? Camera
Yeah,
truck?
Camera truck, yeah. And I just gave, on the next page, you just see it's kind of, it looks like it's, they call it the inverter T250 Ford Transit. That's kind of the style they're looking for the actual vehicle itself.
245, I'm gonna do 245,000 for the whole thing? Or is this another
No, I put 250 on it, I don't see any.
250?
You know, I'm just trying to figure out whether they're gonna need a radio in there. Scott didn't ask for an upfit. I would feel better on this one of, believe it or not, putting it at 260,000 because you're gonna need the upfit of the radio, you're gonna need some of the emblems on it and stuff like that, which I think may be excess, but what do you think?
Kind of have to
Yeah, so. I know there's some equip on there and
I'm surprised because this never came before the commissioners.
yeah, I think it should be brought before you. This is when I sent the email out to all the department heads, this did come up. I asked for a quote on it, so. Yeah, I prefer if the sewer commissioners did approve it, obviously.
Gee, certainly didn't make our agenda because we didn't know about it. Oh, that's right, maybe Jimmy knew about it.
lost in space.
I was gonna make a sewer related joke, but we'll just stop.
It's all shit.
You also need a GPS system on this.
Okay. So,
Okay.
so it's special spring FY 25 camera truck for 260K for sewer.
And then the rest of that was just the stuff for the school and the fire equipment. I don't think the last page came in there, but.
So, bottom line, how much are you bringing forward in special spring for capital?
I was hoping you were keeping track.
I am, but I wanted to see what you got for a number, cause I ran out of ink.
Yes, right.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that you and I are in the same agreement.
I had fearing for 1 million, copiers 50, inspections 125, chipper truck 135, pickup
Hot box,
was 85,000 for the pickup, and then hot box was 50.
all right, one more, slowly,
I'm gonna go through one more time, Sandy.
Slowly for me.
Fearing Hill Bridge, 1 million. Copiers, 50,000. The weights and measures vehicle, I was calling it inspections, but it's a weights and measures vehicle. Purchase and equip, 125,000. Chipper box, 135,000. Pickup, 85,000. Hot box, 50,000.
Jack Savastano's gonna like that.
Got this thing quick.
Oh, did he?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's, and then that's from free cash, it'd be about 1.45 million, 1,445,000.
Alan, I can't hear him over your talking, please. 1455
1445.
or 5 free cash,
No, excuse me, I have some other placeholders in there for something.
then I have 260 sewer enterprise.
Yeah.
So that will be a separate art, okay.
It'll be part of it, it will list out where where it's coming from in the
So,
grid. So
Chipper box.
you would see, I moved to transfer $445,000 from free cash and further 260,000 from retained earnings to fund the following items. We will list it in the grid.
So the Hammond,
Yeah.
just bear with me while I just go through my notes.
Sandy, I'm gonna
25
keep-
inspection services.
I'm gonna keep on talking for 1 minute. We currently have $4,298,642 in free cash still available. So after we take that out, it'd be $2,853,642. We usually try and roll over at least $1 million. This is a little bit higher, but I'm okay with that because of what we're facing coming in for fall, especially the bridge.
Okay.
I'd rather have that building up. I also, just seeing how things like what we're experiencing, negative new state aid, really having to appropriate more out of our local receipts. I don't see us generating as much free cash as we have over the last year or two. So I think rolling over more it's perfectly acceptable right
Where's
now.
the decrease coming from?
So for the state aid, we received, we were reduced in our charter school reimbursement. So it was actually, even though we got the minimum increase for our students, which is $75 per pupil on 2,200 pupils, you know, you're looking at about 150, 160K, but there was a several $100,000 reduction in the charter. And then the assessments, the retired teacher's assessment went up over $1,000, which was substantial. And that's just retiree, especially coming down from the previous administration when they said that they were setting the cost for insulin. Well, that has to be passed on. So while the cost for insulin was reduced to a certain amount, all the other ratepayers had to cover that cost. It doesn't, the companies don't eat it.
You did not include the 2 school requests.
That's what I was missing, the 200, that's why I have 200,000, right?
200,000 and 125.
I have this in there with no.
200,000 for the McDuffie and 125 for the fire alarm. So
Okay, so
that's
that is going to increase us to 1,770,000. It's actually easier to say, so it's a good thing.
1,770,000.
Which leaves us in free cash, $2,528,642. So 2,528,642.
So the minutes, I'll report this as the balance of free cash.
The balance for the Fearing Hill Bridge is gonna be a borrow.
No, well, if we have, only problem with borrowing money is you have to be able to pay it back.
Yeah, we know that.
Yeah, so,
Plus the issue with the interest-free bonds that are going up and down the federal government now.
so as we're getting squeezed a little bit tighter in our
Yeah.
budgets, I don't wanna lose what we have for our borrowing already. We frankly should have a lot more borrowing within our annual budget. There should be probably, what do they say, John, about 5% of your operating budget, so.
5, 6.
You know, so we should be at least 4 million, not including excluded debt, and we're nowhere near that.
If you take the excluded debt and the middle school roof
We're,
and all the other school items,
yeah.
there's nothing on the town side, a
Yeah.
boat.
The boat is what we just have, and we're paying for the boat through Harbor Services already. So yeah, we've been, you know, the superintendent was correct, we've been very generous in supporting him. Also, I've realized how much we've done over the last 10 years, but more specifically, probably 6 years. New elementary school, the boilers for the high school, the school roof, middle school roof. We've done what we're doing over in Bayview Park. This isn't just school. All the playgrounds are redone. There's been a lot that's been rehabbed during this time. It's been an amazing amount of growth and give back. So
I've seen on Facebook, there's been comments, lots in other areas, how people have said that the town has done a lot of work in a very short period of time, and they're really happy with the direction it's going.
Yeah.
It's the first time I've seen that in years.
purchased the golf course.
Mhm.
You're managing that. It's
Good for
been-
CPC.
Yeah,
Right.
so,
Thanks for CPC.
yeah, we appreciate CPC on there and we're, so there's a lot. And obviously that's,
It is a lot.
those projects are above and beyond the normal day-to-day functions, so they do, Bayview Park's coming along great. We have a
I
couple.
had that this morning, it looks really good.
Yeah, it's going to be lit up like a candle at night. It's good. But it's been, it's good. But during this, that's why I requested an extra 200,000 for this town meeting for two things. There's been some cost increases when we were going through. Originally, I wanted to redo the gazebo completely. We had some pushback that it was historic. And, well, as we're going through the gazebo, we had all the footings, everything were completely rotted out. So we're ripping those all out and putting in all new decking on that as well. It'll look good. You want new with it, but that's actually a substantial cost escalator. When we redid the wall in front of it, we had not anticipated that, but when we needed to, due to what the excavation, we took out we had this beautiful granite wall, but then half of it was cement. So we had them redo it all into granite and just.
It looks good.
Yeah, thank you. It's a
It looks very
focal
good.
point and it makes sense.
Yep.
One of the things we're trying to do is, the town has always done a lot of things on the cheap. And that's, if we're going to do a project, we have to do it right. Because we're paying for the sins of doing it on the cheap. Like the, if you will, the police station, which was when it was built too small when it was back then, so.
Built it for short dollars.
The elevator in this building, it doesn't
Hey,
go all the
now,
way
see
to
you
the
later.
top, so there's a joke there, I get it, but but had they have brought that up for the extra cost, what's above us now could have been utilized much more for storage capacity and things such as that, so there's, when we're doing it, we're trying to do it right, it can be a little bit more costly, but as you know, I'm one of the cheapest people around, but I just don't wanna be, as I said, penny wise,
That's it.
pound
If you're
foolish.
gonna do it right. It's
Yeah.
a great policy.
So.
I mean, it'd be a shame to spend all that money in Bayview and then have a gazebo fall apart.
The gazebo fall apart, we upgraded the electrical to probably an overkill on it, but if we're going to do events, everything in there. Can you imagine the things just triggering all the circuits blowing on you, it'd be,
Knocking the lights
Mickey
out,
Mouse.
Monty.
We want, I think that's one of the world-class green spaces that you're gonna have when this is done, so.
Okay.
And then we're part of that, we're moving in front of it, which is, was looking at it, was we have this beautiful park, and then we've got the entryway to our pier, which our pier is going to have to be redone. But I'm looking at the sidewalks, everything, and it just looked like garbage compared to what we just did.
Yep.
So I'm going to try and get that redone as well as part of the $200,000. So now we've got that. That's a true entry point. That's all part of it. So, you know. Well, there's a lot more capital we're bringing, including sidewalks down West Boulevard, which then brings everything, links it together down to Lopes, redoing some of, bringing Hammond together so it's one big green space and not losing the parking. You know, it's not to be onset centric, but I think that green space is almost like one of the best circles that you can imagine. And by bringing it all together, it makes it what I've always thought is a premium area, but it really changes it.
I know this is not your department, but do you have any idea what they're doing with the old fire department?
Yeah, making a
property?
parking lot out of it.
That's awesome.
Is that? Tax
I mean,
levy.
last year, we had events where they had police
I know.
blocking it off.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah,
They convert it into a parking lot.
I will
It's
tell you,
private property at this point.
yeah,
If somebody got injured on it, the district would be responsible.
yeah.
So they block it off so someone doesn't get injured on your property.
Yeah.
Sue the water district.
Yeah, the rumors were that the town want to take it over and stuff. We have no inclination to do that. That's the district's property. Whatever they want to do with it, you know, it's up to them. And you know, we did some of the curb cuts. You know, when it was, I think the whole area should be paved out to try and, you know, there's some cost to that, but while we're working the area, for, you know, somebody from the district wanted to work with us,
Yeah, there's a
That's right.
section that's all dirt now that's been leveled off.
so,
It's all cleaned up though.
yeah.
Where is the old fire department? I'm just trying to geographically challenged here. Where is the old fire department? I'm geographically.
Right behind on's a cash market.
Okay, that's right. yeah.
Oh, if you go on the left.
Which is the
side.
cash
Right now, it's just
Yeah.
they tore the building down, they just threw
So
soil in there.
Newest Oasis.
And the bocce court looks nice with a place to sit next to it and
Yeah.
stuff like that, so.
Okay,
Cool.
Yeah, no, that's all part of the next sort of phase and just keep on making the town better every day, so.
Well, I agree 100% on
Yeah.
infrastructure, town
That's a
building.
lot of effort into the onset group, that really is.
okay, appreciate it.
So, well, I think that's something that the whole town can
Mhm.
hopefully enjoy.
I mean, Shell Point, that entire area, we had breakfast at a new place, and just driving around, it's just so different. We've put a lot of money, but it's made a lot of difference
Yeah.
in the whole area.
I honestly, what I think was one of the triggers that started it, believe it or not, was the parking program. Because it stopped everybody and being able to just come in and trash our area, you know? And I thought that was really helpful.
Yeah, that was a difficult
Just how
program.
much longer we have Shell Point to park. That parking lot is being eroded.
All right, we just have to do a midnight thing before conservation knows about
You
it.
got it.
Undercover doctors.
A moonless night.
Feeling good.
Well, continue to cut the trees down and it will happen.
Yeah,
Just, wait till the Corps of Engineers does the, down by the marina and stuff and take all that soil and move it over there. As long as it's,
Most of it can't be used on this, it's too dirty.
Did you need a vote on this?
I
possibility.
would, I think we have it in there to vote on something on the agenda, do we have to?
no, we're gonna just, item number 7. It's all updated, we've got everything there, the capital items for spring and town meeting. Yeah, I assume that word, again, you're gonna go before the finance committee tomorrow, given the capital items.
Yeah, I think they're
Special.
asking me for the capital for is it next Wednesday? I don't think capital's on tonight's
I'm not
agenda.
sure what the agenda is, they've been very slow getting it out.
Yeah, so I just
Okay,
want,
so either way, it's,
but I think if it does with this being on the agenda, I know, Ellen, you're right, the capital plan committee does not send this to town meeting, but I'd appreciate a vote of it, you know, to have some backing
all
on it.
right, so we've gone through 5 and 6 actually, so at this point here, I'd ask for a motion to accept the updated 5-year capital plan for spring, plan for fiscal year 26 Springtown meeting. It should be 25, yes,
So moved.
26.
Second.
I didn't know there'd be so much for FY twenty-five on it
It's okay.
when I did the
Alright.
agenda.
Now, my comment before we vote is, you'll get it all updated and send it off to all the members so they have it. And
Yeah.
it also goes to Matt Underhill for the town meeting.
My recommendation is that I can update it, send to you, send back any changes, and then I would go to Matt.
Fine.
I would not go to Matt until I hear from you people that I caught everything.
Send John and Derek, make sure they have a copy. Double
No
check it.
kidding, they're part of this committee.
Just asking.
When do I not include them?
Family disputes.
Ah,
Remember, it's the ASS Comedy Hour. Okay,
do you wanna vote on it?
I have a motion, I have a second. All those in favor?
Oh, sorry, I didn't,
I
who,
motioned,
you motion?
I second.
Thank you. Item 8, we've already gone through this before. I've been before the Finance
I'm
Committee.
sorry, did we vote?
Yes,
Yes.
unanimous.
yeah.
You voted
You
yes.
don't remember your vote?
No, I didn't say anything.
I have to have
Okay.
that back downstairs, I'm sure.
Okay.
That's a first.
Thanks, John. Okay,
So, yeah,
So, yeah.
item 8, we've already, as I started to say, I've been for the Finance Committee, they voted in favor of the articles. The Select Board, the same thing. So they both of them are basically supporting it, voting for the 2 articles. And the 2 articles, again, are strictly to change what is and what isn't capital dollar-wise. The function of the Capital Planning Committee, and then the membership, which was asked for by town administration to allow for designees in case they're busy. And
Okay.
also the town accountant is actually supposed to be part of the Capital Planning
Sure.
Committee, but they can be what we call ex officio, non-voting. And that person will also have the ability to send a designee. That's it.
No,
Interestingly, President has paused some tariffs and the Dow just surged 2,400 points.
For 90 days, he paused all tariffs except the ones on China. He increased to 125%.
Yeah, it's a game.
It's a
it's a
game.
game.
It's a game.
And
They
they're
push
coming-
back and he pushes harder.
It's a game.
Exactly.
all that means is those farmers have no place to sell their soybeans.
It's all to the government.
Well, Alan, that article, what happens to our capital plan if the article passes with different dollar amounts?
Nothing happens until the Attorney General goes to our Springtown meeting and accepts the article. Remember,
Okay,
one is a charter article, one is a bylaw.
all right,
time-wise,
what
it's-
happens to our
Nothing.
capital plan once the Attorney General approves it?
If they're both approved with the dollar amounts, then we can go back in and look at dollar amounts and work with Mr. Sullivan to see how we're gonna change things, because dollar amounts are drastically different now when that goes through.
So I could very well reduce this capital plan by a
50%
good
or more.
50, yeah.
And basically, Mr. Sullivan and other his departments, for his capital items for each one of those departments, changes how he does it.
Consolidates them
the
into a
budget.
summary.
Yeah, it'll
Something
make
put
life a
those
lot
items in.
easier, I think, for everybody, but
Yeah.
the dollar numbers are just so far out of whack right now, it's ridiculous. Okay. Impact on capital plan, if articles approved, we just did that basically. Again, it's like everything else, we're making assumptions that it's all gonna go through and nobody's gonna kick back on us. Charter articles are not that easy, the House and Senate actually has to vote and approve it. And they could take 90 days, they could take 6 months sometimes. We've had that issue before. Input on the new website.
Did anybody look at it,
I have.
I have.
the new one? No
Yeah.
problem?
It takes getting used to
Yeah.
because it's different than, you go to get your agenda for a particular meeting. And it's,
You gotta
you
walk
have
around.
to,
I
you
know,
have
but-
to wander
Look at
around
it.
and get it.
It's like a new toy, you have to play with it.
It's
You know,
Yeah.
sniff it.
I put it on the agenda to make sure that we looked at it and whether or not what was there was good or needed to be corrected.
I'd say so far good, my part. I
Okay,
think.
Yeah.
no,
So
no,
far-
no corrections needed, no
Again-
updates.
Again,
So far, no.
if our articles are passed, as they're passed, we'll update the websites for the passage.
Say that again?
If the articles are passed,
Uh-huh.
then we'll go to the website and we'll update how the membership is, and
Well, I know, but but right now,
it's fine the way it
It's
is,
my note says no updates needed.
correct,
Okay,
by any of the members here. Okay, you have a note, Mrs. Slavin, on some minutes that were,
I'm very, very concerned. These minutes were submitted and stamped at the clerk's office, but they're not on our website. They stamped them.
That did to me
So
all
I'm
the
gonna
time.
resubmit them, but to me, if I stamp them at the clerk's office, I expect them to be posted. I didn't think I had to go back into 2024 to see which minutes were missing, so I will resubmit them, but it was.
Why aren't they
They
there?
got a black
I
hole
don't
there.
know, I have this constant problem, every one of my committees are missing minutes. And they've been submitted and they don't get posted. So it's just annoying.
Can you help with that?
What's her face
No,
was
that's
on the
Judy's
other-
working it.
no,
Judy
I
was
think
on me
it
all the
was-
time.
For a while, it was they submitted it, but all the boards and committees, I don't think they knew it, were supposed to be, so their website is their own website.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be posting to your own.
We
that-
do not have that capability.
You did, you just don't know it. And it
7
was,
committees and I didn't know?
there was emails out about it, there was the staff that was trained that work with the committees and told to it, so. I know,
It's hard to believe that I didn't get included somewhere down the line with 7 of them.
Sandy,
But
it is
anyway.
okay,
Okay.
we all make mistakes.
Okay, next one, please.
next, this
Trouble
beginning
ended that
of
one.
reappointment time. Mrs. Slavin is, will be up, and we'll need a motion if everybody wants to reappoint him.
Make a motion
Make
to
a-
reappoint.
I'll second it,
Second,
as long as she wants to.
We don't ask.
no, we don't ask.
We don't
Yeah,
ask,
it's-
okay.
All
A
those in
Bronx
favor?
Hill, now you just can't leave.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed,
I'll
abstained.
abstain.
Oh, 601.
Yep.
Will you be sending the letter to the select board or to the appointing authority or me?
I will send the letter to the appointing authority.
Alan
I
to,
have a question. I've heard different
I'm gonna an-
descriptions of what we're supposed to do. I've
I'm
done,
gonna answer the question for you, I
Okay.
know what it is. Next item up is, myself and Sam are basically appointed here through, one of the.
wait, can you let Sam ask his question before you
I'm
move
gonna-
on?
I'm gonna
he said he's
answer
gonna
his
answer,
question.
he can read minds.
Yeah, I go to the bathroom once in a while. The finance committee, who I'm appointed through, is done through the appointing authority for me to be renewed. But my finance committee, I'm still on the committee for 2 more years. But at the end of the year, June, they still have to vote to put me on as their representative on this committee
Every year.
every year.
Okay.
That's how it works. And for the planning board, which is again the same appointing authority,
Right.
same deal, at the end of each year, they have to vote to reappoint somebody to represent them on this board.
Right. That's where I went, when I came in, went down to,
Yep.
and there was nobody there.
I checked, you were appointed for the year,
Yes.
just so you know, your date is up the end of June.
This
It's
year?
fine, yeah.
Okay.
For this,
Okay.
That be the same for me?
no, because you're a at-large appointment,
That's right.
so you're a 3-year appointment. A lot
So,
of people,
The
people
same,
forgot
so
how it works.
planning needs to vote you here and planning needs to vote you on CPC.
I know. I went downstairs to get it done. There was nobody in the office.
I
I was
did,
gonna do that today.
Yeah.
I did take care of the one for you for here. I went down and asked them to check it for me.
Okay.
So they show that you were, somehow or another, took oath of office, whatever you wanna call it.
I've
So
done
that,
that so many times.
I know, it's just that people forgot how the thing works. and
I know.
just-
See, I was told every other year.
No, it's always been every year. The reason being is, say you're on a particular committee and you're in the last year of that committee.
Okay.
You're not there anymore.
I'll get on the agenda.
Okay. I will-
Sandy, can you put me on the agenda for
For what?
CPC?
No, it's coming from
From the
from
board, okay,
planning.
yeah,
Planning
representative.
has
Yep,
to
yep.
do it.
Everything has to do.
Yeah.
Now, the problem we have, just so everybody knows, is the chair of the finance committee is stepping down, I think a day before the election or whatever. She's one of the 3 members of the appointing authority. So it has an effect because planning is people put on through that, the appointing authority, as is the finance committee. But
It's
at
not
least on the planning board, the members is the chair of the board of selectmen, moderator, and the chair of the planning board.
Right.
But for the finance committee chair is part of that. So I've already asked about, getting this done early. She wants to wait and leave, and then we'll have to appoint a new chair, and then we'll take care of my appointment. if that makes sense.
I'll
to
leave
everybody.
here and go downstairs today.
Do we have any unanticipated items in the last 40 hours, Mr. Sullivan, anything?
God, no.
Okay, I don't think we need another meeting date. Just a town meeting and I'll
No.
step up to the articles and
Right.
if anybody gives us a hard time, somebody step up and kill them.
So next meeting is TBD.
Yes,
Yep. Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
not debatable.
Time is
Thank you, everybody.
2:32.
Longer than usual, but it's gotta be done this way.
Yeah.